I was finding that I often need to set up a fence for my bandsaw, so I thought I'd build one of my own design to avoid this tedious method of bar clamps and squaring. My design goals are that it is fast and easy to install and remove, that it requires no loose hardware or tools to use, and ideally uses whatever I can find in my stock materials so I don't have to buy anything. I'm going to model this in SolidWorks, so the first step is to create a rough model of the bandsaw table. And this is what I came up with. All the parts are pretty straightforward to fab on the mill. I did have fun making this slider with a brass insert piece to prevent the clamp stud from gouging the rail. Then the fence tube bolts to the slider. You might see that the bolt holes are elongated. That happens when SolidWorks is right and I am wrong. I don't show it here, but I squared the tube up on the table before fully tightening the bolts. This is supposed to be a simple square hole with radius corners, but again, I dialed in the wrong numbers on the DRO and now it has big corner reliefs. Works fine though. Now I mount the rear clamping rail. Generous bolt hole diameters and counterbores, as placement of this rail is not critical. Note that I had to chase the threads on one of these 86-cent bolts that I had to buy. Oddly, all the other hardware on the bandsaw is metric, but these holes are tapped 1/4 28. The front rail needs to be accurately positioned, so I started with tight clearance bolt holes that could be opened up for adjustment if needed, but they worked out perfectly as is. To finish it off, I 3D printed some dust covers for the tube. These use some little compression springs that I had in my box of springs. And since I'm 3D printing, I thought I'd print this little block to hold the fence when it's not in use, using this slot that's already in the top of the bandsaw stand. Almost all parameters met, easy to install and remove, and no loose hardware, but I did have to purchase 4 bolts for $3.64.